This is the Valley Today.
New this morning, 3 dead and a 4th in critical condition. The State Patrol is investigating a deadly crash in central Minnesota between a semi and an SUV. Troopers say it happened yesterday afternoon at a highway intersection in Kandiyohi County near Wilmer. 3 people in the SUV were killed. A 4th was airlifted to St. Cloud with life-threatening injuries. All 4 are from Missouri. The 3 who died appear to be related. The driver of the semi was not seriously hurt. 6:01 now. We want to get a check of your forecast out there. There are a lot of things going on today that could have a big impact on your plans, Lisa.
Yeah, it depends on timing too. So if you are planning to be out in the afternoon, it's the heat that's going to be your problem. This evening, we're talking about severe storms possible for some of us. And even right now, this morning, we are tracking storms trying to get into the valley at this moment. So a lot going on through the day. So of course, we have a first alert weather day for your Friday, so you can be alerted and prepared for what's to come. Let's talk about the heat first. We've got a heat advisory that's been issued for southeastern North Dakota and then into parts of South Dakota. It includes Wahpeton, Lisbon, down toward Ellendale as well. And this takes effect at 1 o'clock this afternoon when we start feeling the hottest temperatures of the day through 7 to 8 o'clock tonight, depending on which county you're in. And we're talking about temperatures themselves getting well into the 90s, but heat index values, how it feels when we factor in the humidity, getting to 100 degrees or more. And this has big impacts on those who are vulnerable, older adults, kids. They have a harder time cooling down if you have some chronic health issues. So we want you to be prepared and finding ways to stay cool during that time. Now, later tonight, we have that chance for severe weather along the cold front that'll be moving through. And right now, it looks like the greatest threat for severe weather will be from Beltrami County, the Bemidji area, down through Lakes Country in Minnesota, including Detroit Lakes and the Wefest area, and then back through Fargo-Moorhead into southeastern North Dakota and parts of South Dakota here. And then surrounding areas, we have a chance for some thunderstorms, but that's the area with the greatest threat for large hail and damaging wind gusts possible. In addition to that, some heavy rain too. So here's a look at the current situation. Here's Devil's Lake right here. And along that front that's going to be affecting us through the day, there's some rain and thunderstorm activity. It is now pushing into the valley, into that northern part of Towner County. Rock Lake, you're seeing some rain moving in, some thunderstorms along the border area, and this will continue to push eastward. There's some question right now about whether we'll see this hold into a more intense range of thunderstorms, or if we may see this weaken here as it moves eastward. But be prepared for some rain this morning in that part of our viewing area as this front gradually makes its way through the valley. Right now, temperatures are very warm. In Fargo, we're at 69 degrees. We've gone up a degree in Grand Forks. That's unusual to see that happen before the sun comes up. We're at 70 there. It's 71 in Jamestown. So a very warm morning. And a quick look at your hourly planner for today. A high of 96 in Fargo. Heat index that will likely be higher than that, and that chance for some thunderstorms coming up for later tonight. And by the way, windy again today. It's a hot wind out of the south, gusts about 30 miles per hour. So a lot going on. We'll time out that storm chance for you coming up in just a couple of minutes.
Okay, Lisa, thank you. It is now 6:04. New this morning, several people are injured after a car plowed through a parade in Gallup, New Mexico. Here's video of that wrong way driver moving through the parade route. You see people running out of the way as they realized what was happening. The driver was arrested several blocks away. No word this morning on the extent of any injuries. A day-long standoff in Jamestown is over. A suspect now in custody. Many homes and a nearby daycare were evacuated yesterday as police tried getting that man to surrender. Valley News Team's Alex Larson has the details on what happened.
Terry Bell and his wife got a knock on their apartment door Thursday morning.
Guy come over and told me we need to evacuate. And he said there was a shooter down the street, but we figured if it was down the street, we kind of didn't have nowhere to go, so we just stayed at the house.
The problem was closer than down the street. Police say in the neighboring apartment, a woman had just escaped after 41-year-old Kevin Garnica held her against her will. Then police say Garnica barricaded himself inside with a knife and a gun just before 11 a.m.
We figured we made a mistake. We should have.
Bell says once he and his wife realized what was going on, they put as many walls between themselves and the action as they could, while staying as close to the front of their home as possible.
So that way we kept watching where the police was moving to and, what they was doing.
Police say Garnica made threats over recent weeks that he would injure or kill law enforcement. And he had warrants out for his arrest in Pierce County. They used a robot to bring him a phone and establish contact. But then,
I don't know, about almost noon, I guess we heard like 4 shots come from one of the officers, and then it was quiet for several hours after that.
Police say just before 2 p.m., Garnica tried to run with a large knife, but went back inside of the apartment. Right before 4:30, police used tear gas and pepper spray to get him to surrender. In Jamestown, Alex Larson, Valley News Live.
Garnica and several officers were treated at the scene for exposure to gas. Garnica was then taken to a local medical center for treatment of minor injuries. Police are now forwarding the case to the Stutsman County State's Attorney for formal charges. Shots fired inside the Mall of America in Bloomington, Minnesota last night, and people run for their lives. The mall was in lockdown for several hours before shutting down for the night. Police confirmed they didn't find any victims in that shooting after 2 groups started fighting at the Nike store. One group left but then turned around and fired into that store. Police say no one is in custody. The mall will reopen today with increased security. The North Dakota Supreme Court is denying an appeal by a man convicted of killing 2 people, including a Grand Forks police officer. Saloma Pendleton was charged with killing Officer Cody Holte in May of 2020. Pendleton's mother was also shot and killed during a shootout with police that day. He is serving time for murder, attempted murder, terrorizing, and reckless endangerment. Pendleton argued his constitutional right to a public trial was violated and that he was convicted of a non-cognizable offense. We now know the location in Moorhead for the new home of the Red River Women's Clinic. It is moving to 302 Highway 75 North. Abortion will remain legal in Minnesota, but it will be illegal at the end of the month in North Dakota because of a trigger law tied to the U.S. Supreme Court's overturning of Roe v. Wade. North Dakota's abortion ban is set to take effect on August 26. A lawsuit is heading to trial for the family of a young girl who took her life at the Fargo, North Dakota Boys and Girls Ranch in 2018. The family of 12-year-old Aliana Robertson is suing the ranch as well as 2 staff members individually on counts of amendment violations, civil rights violations, and liability. The complaint alleges Robertson made previous suicide attempts before arriving at the ranch and that she was deemed high risk for suicidal tendencies by professionals there. But despite that, staff members allowed Robertson to go into a bathroom alone the night that she died. The complaint says that ranch staff displayed pointed indifference and made no effort to find out what she brought with her into that bathroom and that they knew about a suicide note that she had left on her bed. There is a new I-94 closure in Moorhead you need to know about. An eastbound lane will be closed around the 34th Street and County Road 52 exits through Saturday. Another round of closures will start next week in both directions. Those are near the Moorhead Airport exits. Still to come this Friday morning, we have big news for the Valley today. We're welcoming a new co-anchor to the early mornings. You'll meet her in about 30 minutes. But next, Lisa Green is in, tracking the First Alert Weather Day with the potential to disrupt some plans.